The 1980s brought muscle cars that were faster than ever before, mixing power with bold, exciting designs. These cars set new speed records and became legends in the performance world. Number 15, 1987 Ford Mustang GT 5.0. The 1987 Ford Mustang GT5 made a bold statement in the Mustang lineup, offering both style and performance in equal measure. Sporting a stylish redesign for the Fox body generation, the 1987 Mustang GT came equipped with a 305 cubic inch V8 engine, delivering 225 horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. This power enabled it to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.3 seconds, with a top speed of 143 miles per hour, securing its place as a favorite among muscle car fans. Though the 1987 Mustang GT had slightly less horsepower than some of its predecessors, the lighter Fox body design gave it an advantage in agility and handling. Clocking in a quarter-mile time of 14.9 seconds, it demonstrated impressive drag racing potential, showing that it could still perform well on the strip even with a bit less power. This blend of speed and control made it an exciting option for those seeking a balance of everyday practicality and high-performance thrills. Amazingly, the 1987 Mustang GT5 marked a significant leap forward from earlier models, emphasizing torque and lightweight design. While the alternator could sometimes pose issues after extended use, its remarkable speed and handling helped solidify its status as a beloved icon of the Mustang legacy and a valid symbol of 1980s American muscle. Number 14, 1986 Buick Regal T-Type. The 1986 Buick Regal T-Type redefined the muscle car scene, emerging as a true powerhouse. Upon its debut, it quickly earned the title of the fastest production car in America, outpacing even the legendary Mustang GT and Corvette. Powered by a turbocharged 232 cubic inch V6 engine, the Regal T-Type produced an impressive 235 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. This combination of power and performance allowed it to rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.85 seconds, with a top speed of 136 miles per hour. Additionally, the innovative technology under its hood set the Regal T-Type apart. Buick introduced an intercooler system for the 1986 model that boosted power by 18% and torque by 10% over the previous year's model. This upgrade didn't just make the car faster, it made it more efficient too. The turbocharged engine could now operate at its peak performance without the risk of overheating, thanks to the denser, cooler air supplied by the intercooler. By lowering the air temperature by up to 125 degrees, the system ensured the engine could easily handle intense speed runs. As for its performance on the road, the Buick Regal T-Type made waves with its quarter-mile time of 14.3 seconds, crossing the finish line at nearly 100 miles per hour. Such capabilities provided an exhilarating driving experience, solidifying its status as a performance icon of its era. Buick's refined turbo V6 engine and an advanced electronic fuel management system ensured the car delivered consistent, top-tier performance. Beyond its raw power, the Regal T-Type offered a remarkable blend of luxury and high-tech features. Despite its performance-first focus, it provided a smooth and comfortable ride, making it as pleasant to drive as it was thrilling. With its sophisticated engine management and cutting-edge ignition system, the 1986 Buick Regal T-Type set a new benchmark for American performance cars, earning its place as one of the fastest and most exciting muscle cars of its time. Before we push further, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Number 13, 1989 Pontiac Firebird TransAm Turbo V6. The 1989 Pontiac Firebird TransAm Turbo is one of the fastest muscle cars of its time. Its turbocharged 232 cubic inch V6 engine could reach an incredible top speed of 153 miles per hour. This performance car could also accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.6 seconds, making it a thrilling ride for anyone behind the wheel. Regarding the quarter mile, the TransAm Turbo impressively completed it in 13.4 seconds, reaching speeds of 101 miles per hour. What made the 1989 TransAm Turbo stand out even more was its unique combination of power and sleek design. Despite its strong performance, the car had a refined look, with pop-up headlights and subtle air intake vents on the hood that added a bit of drama to its appearance. It also came with a small rear wing to help with aerodynamics. The car's stylish 16-inch wheels and the fact that it was only available in white made it even more eye-catching. The TransAm Turbo wasn't just about speed, it was a well-rounded machine. While it might not have the boldest exterior compared to other classic muscle cars, its subtle design and powerful performance made it a standout. This car represented a turning point for muscle cars, showing that speed and style could go hand in hand, even in the post-muscle car era. The 1989 Pontiac TransAm Turbo remains a timeless and desirable classic for those who love fast cars. Number 12. 1987 Buick GNX. The 1987 Buick GNX is one of the fastest muscle cars ever made. Despite not having a big V8 engine like most muscle cars, the GNX stood out for its impressive speed and performance. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.4 seconds, making it one of the quickest cars of its time. The car also finished the quarter mile in 14.2 seconds, reaching speeds of over 100 miles per hour. With a top speed of 124 miles per hour, the Buick GNX proved that power doesn't always come from the size of the engine. What made the GNX even more remarkable was its turbocharged 232 cubic inch V6 engine, which delivered 276 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque. This engine, paired with a 4-speed automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, made the car a true powerhouse. Despite its understated design, the GNX was quick, agile, and a joy driving. The Buick GNX's all-black design earned it the nickname Darth Vader's car. It lived up to the hype. Only 547 of these cars were made, making it a rare and highly sought-after collector's item. While the non-GNX Buick Regals with the same engine are more accessible, the GNX remains one of the fastest and most iconic American muscle cars, cementing its place in history. Number 11, 1980, Chevrolet Monte Carlo. The 1987 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS may not be the fastest muscle car on paper, but it still offered impressive performance for its time. The Monte Carlo SS could hold its own on the road with a top speed of 127 miles per hour. It could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 8.7 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 18.3 seconds. While these numbers may not compete with some more powerful muscle cars, the Monte Carlo SS delivered a fun and satisfying driving experience. Powered by a 305 cubic inch V8 engine, the Monte Carlo SS produced between 150 and 180 horsepower and about 235 to 240 pound-feet of torque. It was paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission and rear-wheel drive, contributing to its overall performance. Despite being detuned during the smog era, the V8 engine still offered decent power, and its popularity meant there was a wide range of aftermarket parts available to boost its performance. The Monte Carlo SS also benefited from the newer G-body platform, which was lighter and had a slightly longer wheelbase than earlier models. This made the car more agile and enjoyable to drive. Weighing in at around 3,239 pounds, the Monte Carlo SS had a solid balance of power and handling. It wasn't the fastest muscle car, but a classic that could still hold its own. Number 10, 1988 Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. The 1983 to 1988 Ford Thunderbird Turbo Coupe may not be the first car that comes to mind when you think of muscle, but it was one of the fastest cars of its time. With a top speed of 133 miles per hour, it offered impressive performance for a more luxurious vehicle. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 7.6 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 17.3 seconds. While it wasn't the fastest muscle car on the block, its speed and smooth ride made it a unique and enjoyable choice. Powered by a 140 cubic inch turbocharged inline-4 engine, the Thunderbird Turbo Coupe delivered 190 horsepower and 240 pound-feet of torque, It came with a 5-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic transmission, both paired with rear-wheel drive for a fun driving experience. Although it shared the same Fox platform as the Mustang, the Thunderbird had a slightly longer wheelbase, giving it more room and comfort. The Thunderbird Turbo Coupe was often overlooked in its time, especially because it focused on being a more affordable alternative to the Mustang. Still, it has since earned a spot in muscle car history. It was fuel-efficient and relatively inexpensive, and its turbocharged engine was more powerful than many expected. While it wasn't as popular as Ford hoped, it's still a hidden gem in the world of muscle cars. Number 9. 1984 Ford Mustang SVO. The 1984 Ford Mustang SVO was one of the fastest muscle cars of its time, thanks to its turbocharged engine and lightweight design. It was a true performer on the road with a top speed of 137 miles per hour. It could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.6 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 15.8 seconds. While it wasn't as fast as some V8 muscle cars, it was still thrilling, especially considering its unique turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. The Mustang SVO came with a 140 cubic inch turbocharged inline-4 engine that produced between 175 and 200 horsepower and 210 to 240 pound-feet of torque. This gave it plenty of power, making it one of the quickest cars in the mid-80s. The SVO was equipped with a 5-speed manual transmission and rear-wheel drive, which gave it a fun and engaging driving experience. What made the Mustang SVO so special was that it was a performance version of the Fox body Mustang. But instead of the typical V8 engine, it featured a turbocharged 4-cylinder. This was a surprising choice, but proved as decisive as some of the earlier V8 Mustang GT models. The SVO helped return the Mustang to the spotlight, showing that it could still deliver exciting performance and speed even without a V8 engine. Number 8. 1980 Pontiac Firebird Formula. The Pontiac Firebird Formula was a performance car of its time, capable of reaching a top speed of 151 miles per hour. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.5 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 17.9 seconds. These figures made it one of the fastest muscle cars of the era, offering thrilling performance that many other cars struggled to match. Equipped with a 348 cubic inch V8 engine, the Firebird Formula delivered 235 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. Though many cars have been modified, this engine was paired with either a 3-speed automatic or a 4-speed manual transmission. The rear-wheel drive setup helped it maintain excellent handling, and despite the challenges of the smog era, the Firebird Formula delivered impressive acceleration and speed. Pontiac's Firebird was well known for its performance and street appeal, with many racing victories. Even though some models were slower due to emissions regulations, the L98 V8 engine offered a solid performance boost. The Firebird Formula was an excellent option for those looking for speed and power, blending style with muscle in a way only Pontiac could do. Though it lacked a manual transmission option, the Firebird Formula still stood out for its impressive specs and driving experience. Number 7. 1980 Chevrolet Corvette C3 350 Special. The Chevrolet Corvette C3 350 Special was one of the fastest muscle cars of its era, boasting a top speed of 147 miles per hour. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 7.1 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 17 seconds. These impressive figures made it a standout performance car, even if it wasn't as powerful as some earlier versions. Moreover, the Corvette C3 350 Special had a 348 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 230 horsepower and 275 pound-feet of torque. This engine was paired with a 3-speed automatic or a 4-speed manual transmission, which powered the car's rear wheels. Despite the challenges of the smog era, the C3 Corvette retained its performance capabilities with the L82 350 V8 engine, which helped maintain the Corvette's reputation for speed and power. Despite this, the third-generation Corvette was known for its distinctive and beautiful design, earning the nickname Coca-Cola Corvette because of its sleek, curved body. Although the smog era did reduce its overall power, the C3 Corvette remained a fan favorite, combining the looks of a classic American muscle car with the performance that Corvette enthusiasts had come to expect. It may not have been the most powerful version, but it still delivered a thrilling performance on the road. Number 6. 1986. Chevrolet Camaro IroZ. The Chevrolet Camaro IroZ was an absolute powerhouse, reaching a top speed of 151 miles per hour. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.1 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 16.7 seconds. These numbers place the IroZ among the fastest muscle cars of its time, delivering a performance that was just shy of some exotic cars. With its 348 cubic inch V8 engine, the Camaro IroZ produced 240 horsepower and 345 pound-feet of torque. This power was handled by a 4-speed automatic transmission and a rear-wheel drive setup, making for an exciting driving experience. What made the IroZ even more special was its upgraded suspension system, which included high-performance shocks and larger sway bars, features also found in the Corvette. These upgrades made the IroZ an impressive performer on the road, offering a near-Corvette experience at a more affordable price. Beyond this, the IroZ was a trim level of the Z28 Camaro, introduced as a nod to the International Race of Champions. With a TPI V8 engine and an improved suspension, it could hold its own against many high-end cars of the era. Although the IroZ couldn't match the newer Camaro's speeds, it remained a favorite for those seeking an affordable, yet fast and fun muscle car. Despite regulations limiting its performance, the IroZ was still one of the quickest cars of its generation. Number 5. 1989 Pontiac 20th Anniversary TransAm Turbo. The Pontiac 20th Anniversary TransAm Turbo was a true powerhouse. Reaching a top speed of 153 miles per hour, it could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds, and it completed the quarter mile in an impressive 13.4 seconds, at a trap speed of 101 miles per hour. These performance figures made the TransAm Turbo one of the fastest muscle cars of its era, showcasing pure speed and acceleration. Furthermore, this special edition TransAm featured a 232 cubic inch turbocharged V6 engine, which churned out 245 horsepower and 360 pound-feet of torque. Power was sent to the rear wheels through a 4-speed automatic transmission, ensuring smooth and quick shifts. What made this car even more exciting was its ability to deliver such quick acceleration without any tricky test track maneuvers. Put the car in drive, give it some revs, and floor the throttle, and the vehicle will launch forward like a rocket. While the TransAm Turbo shared its turbocharged engine with the Buick Regal Grand National, Pontiac's version had unique characteristics, including enhancements to ensure performance and durability. The Turbo TransAm was a thrilling, high-performance machine, combining power and technology in a way that few cars of its time could match, and it remains one of the most exciting muscle cars from the late 1980s. Number 4. 1985 Chevrolet Corvette C4. The Chevrolet Corvette C4 was a true powerhouse, reaching an impressive top speed of 157 miles per hour. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5.8 seconds and complete the quarter mile in 14.6 seconds, making it one of the fastest muscle cars of its time. The performance of the C4 was a giant leap forward for the Corvette, with its refined handling and upgraded engine. Under the hood, the Corvette C4 was powered by a 348 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 240 to 245 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque. The rear-wheel drive layout made for an engaging driving experience, and it was paired with a 4-speed automatic or the unique 4+3 manual transmission with an overdrive. This manual transmission gave drivers more control, but its complex design was ahead of its time. Even with that, the Corvette C4 delivered fast acceleration and an exhilarating ride. Overall, the C4 Corvette was a fresh take on the iconic model, shedding the old Coke bottle design for a cleaner, more modern look. It may have been underestimated initially, But it soon proved to be a serious contender in the muscle car world, combining speed, power, and cutting-edge technology. Number 3, 1987 Buick Grand National. The 1987 Buick Grand National was one of the fastest muscle cars of its era. It could go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 6.1 seconds and ran the quarter mile in the mid-14 seconds at a speed of 92 miles per hour. These performance figures made the Grand National stand out as one of the quickest American cars of the 80s. Speaking of performance, this car was no ordinary Regal. Buick upgraded the standard Regal model with performance features like a front air dam, rear spoiler, and special seats. The most significant improvement, however, came under the hood. The Grand National was powered by a turbocharged V6 engine that produced 245 horsepower. This turbocharged engine made the Grand National incredibly fast, pushing it to impressive speeds. The Buick Grand National was initially intended to be a limited production model, but its success led to it becoming an iconic muscle car in the 1980s. By the time 1987 came around, it had reached its peak performance. With its blend of power, speed, and style, the Grand National earned a place in history as one of the fastest muscle cars ever produced in that era. It's no wonder this car still captures the imagination of car enthusiasts today. Number 2, 1984 Ford RS200. The Ford RS200 is one of the fastest muscle cars, with a top speed of 150 miles per hour. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 5 seconds flat, and runs the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds. These numbers put the RS200 in the fast lane, even by today's standards. Although the street version of the RS200 wasn't as powerful as its rally counterpart, it still packed a punch with 246 horsepower. The car was built using nearly 3,000 parts, with 900 sourced from regular street Fords. The rest were designed for racing, making the RS200 a performance machine. Despite its relatively modest power, the RS200 was light and agile, allowing it to accelerate rapidly and handle with precision. Its suspension system included double wishbones and telescopic dampers, both front and rear, with adjustable tow control at the back. These features helped the RS200 stay stable at high speeds, making it thrilling. The Ford RS200 is a true testament to the power of lightweight design and engineering. Number 1, 1988 Callaway Sledgehammer Corvette. The 1988 Callaway Sledgehammer Corvette was built to be the fastest street car around. With a top speed of an astonishing 254 miles per hour, it set a record that stood for 11 years. Not only was it fast in terms of top-end speed, but it also accelerated from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4 seconds and completed the quarter mile in 12.5 seconds. This was no ordinary Corvette. It was an accurate road-going missile. Summing up, the Sledgehammer wasn't just about raw acceleration, it was built to dominate on the track, with a sleek wind-splitting aero body kit and a monstrous 880 horsepower that made it a beast on the road. Even more impressive is that the Callaway Sledgehammer wasn't trucked to the test track. It was driven there and back, showing just how practical this hypercar was for its time. While many cars are focused on drag races, this one was built for sheer top-speed performance, crushing records and taking street-legal vehicles to a new level of speed and power. How do you like this video? Let us know in the comments below.